Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is a paid request, this time for Alban. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. I will try to get to it as soon as I can. And he wanted me to give my list of my top 15 favorite films of 1997. It was a bit tough because there's a lot of films this year I do quite enjoy. And honestly, for some of these films, if you asked me a week later, one might go up, one might go down, one might go two up, and one might go two down. But kind of the general basis are these. And there's a lot that I left off that I did not like leaving off, but like I said, there's a lot of films this year I did quite enjoy. Number 15, I go with The First Men in Black. I know people go, wow, is that low? Maybe a little bit is because of this Will Smith slap thing. That makes it a little. I still like his movies. Makes him a little bit harder to watch. But it's not like he killed anybody or anything in between. It was just kind of hard to buy him a bit more as the tough guy. But at the same time, I still love like Bad Boys 2. I like Bad Boys 3, but Men in Black, he does a good job working with Tommy Lee Jones. He has some very fun, creative special effects and creativity. It's based on the comic book. I do like the concept of the film. I think that the musical score really works for the vibe of the picture. I definitely think it's the best in the Men in Black movies. I think many would. You could easily make the argument that you only needed one Men in Black film, and they would have a good point. Although I still like the third one. Like I say, it had a lot of nice creative juices flowing through it. Whether it be Vincent D'Onofrio's character and how he played that alien hiding within a human body, the different types of aliens, whether it be the little alien inside the person's face controlling it because the rest of it is a robot, the different weapons, the little weapon that's the noisy cricket, all the little world building stuff like you hear about Elvis. No, he didn't die, he went home. And some really nice chemistry between Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. Which is sad because you think about in the second film, it got spent so much retconning the first where, well, we wiped his memory, but damn it, we need his memory back, so we got to spend all this time getting to him, and then he doesn't know what's going on, he doesn't know what's happening, and then we got to get his memory back, so then he's back to the Tommy Lee Jones we knew in the first movie, but then most of the movie's over by that point. And then the third movie, there have been so many years that Tommy Lee Jones is so old that he's only at the very beginning and the very end of the movie. So you never really got another full movie with the two of them. And like this was, the introduction. So you never really got a full movie with the two of them as they were when they were really cooking in this movie. Kind of a weird thing when you look back on that franchise, and it's a shame because they have great chemistry with each other, but as showcased in this. And plus, Will Smith is a little bit more subdued, as it, like the way he portrays the character. Like in the early beginning, like, yeah, he's got the little bit of Will Smith, AYPD, I will knock your punk ass down. But then when he's talking to Tommy Lee Jones, he's being very serious. Who are you? What's going on here? Like, he's not just immediately being a smartass every 5 seconds. So when it pops out, it works. So I do quite like the first Men in Black. Number 14, I put G.I. Jane, which is ironic, I know. I put the Will Smith film next to the G.I. Jane. Sorry, that was Jada Pinkett. Sorry. I did a Jada Pinkett. Excuse me. That was not on purpose that I burped at the thought of, what do those two have in common? Jada Pink Slip. Can't wait for G.I. Jane 2. That was not done on purpose, but it's just ironic how it came about. Number 40. Yeah, I like G.I. Jane. I've always liked G.I. Jane. G.I. Jane. Ridley Scott directed it. I like the story of the first Navy SEAL lady. Because I think Demi Moore pulled it off. And you just say that it's a feminist film. If this film was released today, it probably would be considered a woke film. If it was released today, if you think about it. But just the way this is handled, Ridley Scott's finesse. Other than the third act, I didn't like the shaky cam in the third act, but the score, the Viggo Mortensen as the drill sergeant, and just Demi Moore. Demi Moore really sold me on this movie. I liked her as an actress. I think she worked hard on the role. She gave a really good, underrated performance. She was able to handle the toughness, and I bought it. I believed it. When she's going through the trials and tribulations of the boot camp, I bought into it. I didn't feel it was phony. I didn't feel it was fake. I didn't feel it was, that's bullshit. I really bought into Demi Moore's physical training and her performance. You'll suck my dick. And the way she pulled off, it didn't seem like, I don't know, the way it was portrayed in the film, it didn't feel like so much of a, we gotta message women. It's more, no, fuck you. I'm part of this group. You're an asshole, so suck my dick. Just like they would say. And the guy's like, yes. It just felt more like a crowd-pleasing moment than an in-your-face message. I think at that time you had a guy like Ridley Scott who knew what he was doing filmmaking-wise. The idea and the only detriment I have is the action scene. I like that there's an action scene in the third act. I just don't like that it was more of a shaky cam. You couldn't really tell what was going on. I don't really know why they went with that aesthetic. I thought it was a mistake. Oh, and the whole the woke thing. Who's the one who fucks over Demi Moore? Another lady. Oh yeah? Watch this. And pretty much tells the bitch off. Equal rights. Again, it's not just the men are all bad. She's the one who fucked Demi Moore over. I forget the actress's name, the older actress. She's the one who fucked over Demi Moore the most. And it was a turncoat. I pretty much had to almost like blackmail her in order to fucking get along with the program. But I still quite enjoy that movie. Number 13, Breakdown. Solid thriller with Kurt Russell. The third act, there's some conveniences about certain things. I'm like, not sure about, but Kurt Russell does a bang-up job. I do think it's the director's best movie, because he also did Terminator 3, among other movies. And I think they really showcased the middle of nowhere. You have other capable actors like J.T. Walsh, but he rests in peace. It was a good road thriller. I would still put the original The Hitcher above it, but it's a good, straightforward road thriller. And Kurt Russell sold the shit out of that movie. I really do like Breakdown. Got a nice Blu-ray recently with a commentary with Kurt Russell and the director together in the same room. So that's a good listen to if you like Kurt Russell. Number 12, I put Metro. I think it's an underrated Eddie Murphy film. I don't think it gets the respect it deserves. I think it was Eddie showcasing a bit of seriousness as well as a bit of comedy, and then they have a bit of action. Michael Wincott does a good job as a villain. Some of the scenes I still laugh at is when he's training Michael Rappaport, and Eddie Murphy's pretending to be one of the robbers, and is saying all these cuss words. Fuck you, dude. You can't help me. Why am I wasting time with you, you fucking jerk off face fucking jerk off. He's like, do you need all the profanity? I thought it was a perfect fit to have Eddie Murphy as a hostage negotiator. And some of the action set pieces are nicely done. The whole bit with the train car, like the going off the fucking rails, it can't be stopped. So Eddie Murphy and Michael Rappaport have to swing their car in front of it in order to stop it. It's all done practical, for real, in camera. Good action set piece. You got some nice ones in the finale there. Very fun film that sadly just got released in the January for some reason. And back then, January was considered the death knell. I say nowadays because, I mean, what, Bad Boys 3 was in January, I think, and that made a lot of money, and there's a few others that made money in January, so. But yeah, Metro, I don't know, people were just not caring about Eddie in an action film type of role. It was crazy to me. I mean, I think that's a better Beverly Hills Cop 3 than the actual Beverly Hills Cop 3. But, you know, I don't even think it has a Blu-ray, for fuck's sake. Metro. I don't think it does. Which is a shame. But I think the company released it. Aren't they owned by Disney or something? I forget. So this is a shame. That film bombed so badly and got roasted. Although it did get 2 thumbs up from Siskel and Ebert. But that's a good one. Metro. If you liked Eddie Murphy and Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2 in that style, Metro is a fun one to watch. Number 11, I put 12 Angry Men, the William Friedkin movie. Maybe because William Friedkin recently passed away, and so I'll give this a big bump up, because I did see this again. Really good. I like the original. I prefer the remake, though. Just the cast. I mean, you got Jack Lemmon. You got George C. Scott. You got James Gandolfini. You got Ozzie Davis. You got Tony Danza. You got William Peterson from Manhunter and CSI. You got Edward James Olmos. You got Armin Mueller-Stahl. You got a hell of a cast in that movie. I like Courtney B. Vance. I like. This is a good cast. Hume Cronin, Michael T. Williamson. That it's hard to make a film where it's pretty much going to take place in one room. It's just them discussing this case. But you have just good actors showcasing the intensity among each other, one against the other in terms of how they feel about the case, and each person having their moment to shine. At least for the most part, most of them have their moment to shine. I think just because I grew up in that era and to see all these actors that I recognize in other movies, like Armin Mueller-Stahl, I know he was in the X-Files movie, and he was in The Game, and like all these other, you know, I said William Peterson and Manhunter, Michael T. Williamson. I remember he was in The First Power, and Forrest Gump as Bubba Gump, and I did see all these together, which is a nice treat. Especially you have someone like George C. Scott, who I'm a fan of. Just a great set of powerhouse actors giving strong performances. And I give credit for the tough task. Again, you don't have much scenery to work with. You have a jury box, jury room, however you want to put it. There's not a whole lot to work with cinematography-wise. But the actors and the way it's written is, the script is what keeps it going. So that's number 11. Number 10, I put Money Talks. Because I don't know about Chris Tucker as a person. I hear rumors. I don't know though if they're true or not. I don't. I mean, I've heard that Chris Tucker was on the Epstein list. I don't know for certain. I don't know the details. I don't know. Until I know, then I don't know. But I do like him as an actor. I did like him as a comedian. At this point, I will assume he's innocent until proven guilty, if that ever occurs or whatever is showcased. I loved him in Friday. Loved him in Rush Hour 1 and 2. And between those, he did this film. Just for understand, there was a different director, and then I think Chris Tucker got fired. I mean, Chris Tucker got the director fired, and then he got Brett Ratner because Brett Ratner had done a music video, and he liked working with Brett Ratner. I don't know who the original director was, but after Friday, this was like, okay, now Chris is able to be the lead. And he showcased that he had that Eddie Murphy pop-in energy to him. It was R-rated. It was a different type of Chris Tucker you have nowadays. Because the Chris Tucker nowadays, he found religion, did whatever. He would never do that kind of movie today. You know, not the potty mouth, not the R-rated. Not anything. So even if Chris Tucker tried to do a comedy today, it would not be the same. He's not this type of Chris Tucker. And it was just great to see this guy just. The energy is just literally pouring out of him in almost every scene, which to some people would be annoying, but for me, I found entertaining. I do like Charlie Sheen in the movie. The plot was what it was, but it's more about the way these two guys worked with each other. I still laugh, for example, when Charlie Sheen has brought Chris Tucker to this place, and Chris Tucker's supposed to be incognito, but then he starts making all this shit about Chris Tucker's character to Charlie Sheen's, I forgot if his fiance or wife, I forget the actress's name too, where, oh yeah, we're old friends, me and him. You know, Charlie Sheen here, he loved all the women. He loved all the gals. And Charlie Sheen's just pissed, looking at him, it's like, yeah, all the men, all the women, I fucked them all. Which is weird hearing that nowadays, considering, not the men part, well, actually, if you believe Corey Feldman, and then all the stuff with the women and AIDS, or whatever. Like I say, it's weird hearing that now with Charlie Sheen. That's a whole other thing, Charlie Sheen. That's a whole other fucking thing. But I do like both of them as actors. I thought they worked well in the movie. I thought they were entertaining. The action scenes were like, it's a fun movie that I don't think has a Blu-ray. Sometimes you just like seeing two people have fun with some decent action scenes and a plot that you're not going to remember and talk about the plot, but it's serviceable. And had a good supporting cast. I know Faison Love is in one scene, in the jail scene, like trying to mess with, maybe seduce Chris Tucker's character. I forget the actor's name. He was in The Stuff. And then, well, you can't see the post, but he was, yeah, just, he was in The Stuff, that movie. He played the guy who was with the militia group. I forgot the actor's name. But I like him in this movie. Well, actually, I'll just look it up. I got a phone here. Let me look up Money Talks. And what's sad is like this and another film, they came out the same year. They did well at the box office, and neither one has a fucking Blu-ray. And this was it New Line Cinema? Yeah, New Line Cinema. Cost 25, made $48 million. Heather Locklear played Charlie Sheen's fiance, wife, whatever. And then Paul Sorvino. That's their actor I'm thinking, Paul Sorvino. How about some Dom Perignon 55? How about some Colt 45? I do like this movie quite a bit. And yeah, Sally doesn't even have a fucking Blu-ray. So again, same with another movie I'll talk about soon. Number 9, I put The Game. My favorite David Fincher movie. I like Michael Douglas a lot in the film. I like to set up the movie of this rich guy and what could you buy this rich guy. And Sean Penn sets up this game, and you think, okay, this is a crazy, weird, interactive game for things that get more crazy and more insane. Now, I do understand people's issues where there's a certain amount of believability that may go out the window with how far this game does when you find out certain things. So you either take it or leave it. I took it because I was just enjoying the way it was filmed. I enjoyed where the story was taking me. I got the gist of what it was doing for the character and his arc in a way. I thought Michael Douglas was one of my favorite performances he's done. And I still quite like the movie. I still quite enjoy the film, so take that for what you will. But yeah, I don't want to give anything away, but I do quite like the game. I do like the ending. I know that rubs a lot of people the wrong way, the ending. I do quite like it, and like I said, one I've always enjoyed, the game. Number 8, I put Event Horizon. Good sci-fi horror film. One of Paul W.S. Anderson's better movies. Love how violent and how... I love the look of the ship. I think the look of the ship is beautiful. I love the aesthetic of this haunted house in space. I mean, you even have lightning, which... I try to understand how the lightning happened. But you have these things that happen that look like lightning, like it was a haunted house. And it's like blood coming out of the walls or whatever, like a haunted house movie, like Amityville Horror. And then it's also like Hellraiser in space, before Hellraiser 4 in space, Bloodline in space. Sam Neill, Lawrence Fishburne. I do like the cast. Sally the uncut version will never be seen. I just like the footage or something is too rough. It would be higher if it wasn't for bits of the ending. Spoiler for Event Horizon. I don't like what happens to Lawrence Fishburne's character. I think that's really shitty business. If that wasn't the case, this probably would be higher on the list. But I hate what they do with Lawrence Fishburne's character. To spoilers, he does the right thing to save his crew, but you think about how that whole process works. Really, they just go to the other hell dimension, and that means Lawrence Fishburne's character is going to be tortured forever for doing the right thing and saving his crew. And I think of all the characters, he's the one that deserves it the least. And they always rub me the wrong way. I would just prefer that he lived, or he does and he makes it out. You think he's dead and he made it out. I would have preferred that. I really would have. And then they try to do this lousy jump scare at the end that didn't really work. So that does bother me. But the aesthetic, the look, some of the gory, grisly makeup effects, not holding back on the R rating, I do enjoy that part of it. But in that ending, just always bugged the fuck out of me. Number 7, I put Nothing to Lose, which I love. Martin Lawrence and Tim Robbins. Another film not on Blu-ray. Tim Robbins has the perfect life. He comes home. He finds out that he thinks his wife's cheating on him. So he's kind of doesn't know what to do. He's just driving, wandering, lost in his own head. And then Martin Lawrence comes in to try to steal his car. Hello, kid, I'm talking to you. Do you understand what the fuck I'm saying? And Tim Robbins is like, you picked the wrong car on the wrong day. And drives off. Because now Tim Robbins' character don't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck if he dies. Doesn't give a fuck on anything. And then Martin Lawrence becomes the guy who's steered. Yeah, one of those freaky Jason guys that kill people in the desert. Oh shit. We are in the fucking desert. Please don't kill me, freaky Jason. I said, please don't kill me, freaky Jason. I thought like Martin Lawrence was fucking hilarious in this. Again, he had the energy that he had in Bad Boys 1, R rating, spry, young, fresh on the scene. I liked his interplay with Tim Robbins. I liked their chemistry with each other. A load of fun. A shitload of fun. I don't want to give too much away in case people have not seen it. But I thought Nothing to Lose is a hilarious movie. I guess I'll say about the plot is that eventually they start working together, and then they come up with a plan to rip off Tim Robbins' boss. And then there's a little bit of a heist type of thing goes on. But yeah, a lot of fun. Nothing to Lose. I still laugh. Basically, it makes me want to rewatch it. I wish that and Money Toss would come on Blu-ray. That's the thing when people say, "Oh, everything's been released. We're going to 4K." I'm like, I can name 50 movies that have not had a Blu-ray. Money Talks and Nothing to Lose are 2 of them. In the same year, with a black guy and a white guy, released like a month or 2 apart. I think Nothing to Lose made more money than this. I think Nothing to Lose made like 50 million? Let me check. Again, I got my phone here. Has a higher rating than IMDb. Maybe not. I thought it did. I guess it didn't. Maybe Money Talks made more money. I don't know, for some reason. No, I guess it made about the same. It looks like you're on here. So. And Steve Odysee made it, who did Kung Pao Enter the Fist. And he did Ace Ventura 2, When Nature Calls. Among other stuff. Yeah, Buena Vista, owned by Disney. So, that's why that's not on fucking Blu-ray. Because they ain't gonna do shit. Which sucks. But what can you fucking do? Plus, I mean, these are films like nobody talks about nowadays. But I'm like, nobody talks about nowadays because it's not even on fucking Blu-ray. It's skipped a generation, and some people don't even know the fucking film exists. So there you go. But anyway. Just saying. Let's see. Number 6. Part of me is like, I don't want to put this movie... It just feels too low to have this movie here. But at the same time, I do like the other films more for different reasons. But number 6 is Copland. I hate putting it that low because I love the film. Sylvester Stallone, Harvey Keitel, Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro. You got Michael Rappaport, you got Peter Bird, insane cast in that movie. And one of Sylvester Stallone's better performances. I love the modern Western feel of the picture, especially in the third act with the showdown. Stallone, the movie deserves. If we're talking underrated, that's definitely up there. One of the most underrated films on this list. It deserved a lot more than it got. I don't know why the critics like threw it away. I really don't. With some of the films that they do prop up, I really don't. We've seen this movie before. Oh, like Creed 1? But that's the film Stallone gets an Oscar nomination for, not Copland. I don't fucking get it. But it's Copland. One more time to say, it's fucking Copland. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's well worth it. Just Stallone just gives such a different kind of performance that he does. He's in his shell. He, looks down. He's humbled by everybody in this town full of cops. And he's got to be the guy that's got to stand above it all because he's the one with more of the moral code and not influenced by the big city life because of being stuck in this small town. I love the stuff he did with Ray Liotta. May he rest in peace. Robert Patrick did great cast and a wonderful finale. Well, I think someone had asked me on a stream, "What's your favorite film, 1997?" I said this is number one, but that's because when people ask me that on the streams, I'm like, I don't remember all the movies that came out that year. I literally have to look at a list. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what year it came out. Con Air. It's definitely my top five. I love the film. Probably my favorite Nicolas Cage film. The music is fantastic, especially that guitar string, the guitar sting. If I had a theme song, I would want that to be my fucking theme song. That theme from Con Air. You know how, like on YouTube, there's the meme of the Guile theme? Everything goes well with the Guile theme. There should be one, everything goes with the Con Air theme. Like, that would seriously work. But I mean, Nick Cage, John Malkovich, John Cusack. I love the concept. Prisoners on a Plane. Yeah, the 90s Jerry Bruckheimer over the top action with some pretty big, some CGI enhanced, but mostly practical set pieces. And no, it's not the smartest movie in the world, but it's pretty fucking entertaining. What do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna save the fucking day. I'm gonna show you God does exist. And he's walked in, and the bullets are so scared of Cage that bounce off his wound and just decide to go away. I ain't fucked with this. Bullets. Pretty much the bullet hit Cage and said, you know what? I'm not going to inflict this motherfucker pain. I'm going to take that out of it. I'm going to ricochet off so he doesn't feel pain because I don't want Cage as bullet pissed at me as he beats the shit out of everybody. I love the set piece at the end in the Las Vegas with the fire truck. Just so much fun with that movie. So much fun. I love the Cameron Poe character. I love the way Nick Cage plays the character. John Malkovich is fun as the bad guy, having a ball. I know John Cusack hates the film, but I'm sorry, dude. I think it's one of your better films and one of your better roles. Sorry that the last 10 fucking films you've done, no one remembers shit about. And I'll take Kanye over the sure thing or whatever the fuck the movie, not the say anything, and the sure thing, but the I got the boombox. Like that's all people remember about that fucking movie is the fucking boombox scene and say anything. No one remembers another goddamn thing about that movie except you standing on the boombox. Not even you acting. I could do that scene. Stand, hold a boombox. I could fucking do that too. I bet more people remember Con Air and you're rolling that than in say anything other than the boombox. Take the boombox shit out. Tell me something else about that fucking movie. Anyway, Con Air rocks. Number 4, I put The Relic. I'm a big fan of monster movies and creature feature films. I love the idea of having a monster in a museum. I like the way Peter Hyams lit it. Granted, on the Blu-ray, sometimes it does look a bit too dark, but it does give a bit more of an atmosphere feel to the proceedings. I'm not big on Penelope Ann Miller. I could deal with her. I kind of wish it like Mira Sorvino. That's a film I like. Mimic, which if I did a top 20, I would put Mimic on the list. I do like Mimic, and I like Anaconda. Like I said, if it was a top 20, I would put those two on the list. If there was a top 20, I would probably put Liar Liar, Anaconda, Contact, Mimic. I don't know, maybe Double Team because that's just an insane Van Damme movie. But like I said, I would have preferred Mira Sorvino as the lead compared to Penelope Ann Miller. But yeah, I could deal with her. I do like Tom Sizemore, may he rest in peace. I think he does a great job. Like I said, I just like the idea of having this monster in a museum. I think it does have a nice sense of humor, like how superstitious Tom Sizemore's character is. I love the design of the creature. I believe it's done by Stan Winston. I think it's a really cool looking creature. And there's some CGI, for the time, but there's some pretty good practical effects as well. Some nice gore moments where it's taking people's heads off, or people pulled and their body's been bitten in half. Like I said, the whole concept of a monster in a museum, done with that budget and slick production values, just my kind of movie. Just my kind of movie that I grew up back in the day watching those monster movies. And it's nice to see one of those done with, again, a higher budget. So it's a bit more better looking. And yeah, I think the film's underrated. No one really talks about The Relic. Would love to, he sadly passed away. I would love to have asked Tom Sizemore about that film. Working on that film. That would have been nice to see. But it is what it is. Number 3, I wasn't sure. I was thinking of putting this as number 1. Maybe if you asked me a month later, I'll put this at number 1. But number 3, I put Drive from Mark Dacascos. I know some places say 1998, but a lot of places also say 1997. And I love that film. Mark Dacascos and Tadim Hardison. I think it really showed what you could do with such a small. They had what? At most a $3 million budget, maybe less. And you have just insane fight sequences, choreography, a great amount of action. And that was Rush Hour before Rush Hour. And as much as I like Rush Hour, I would say I like Drive more than Rush Hour. Because you still have good chemistry between Mark and Tadim, but you do have better action and fight scenes than Rush Hour. Which is crazy because they had a much smaller budget. It's a very quirky movie. The plot is like Mark has this type of sci-fi thing in his chest that deals with energy or something, and he's a carrier, almost like a different version of Johnny Mnemonic, except not his brain but his chest. He's got to go from point A to point B. I forget what it's called in his chest. I did, and that's supposed to explain like how Mark's character is so good at fighting and stuff. And like Tadim's, it's a fun movie. I don't want to give too much away on that film if you've never seen it. MVD did put out a Blu-ray of it, which I have right there. Okay, I can't pull it. The whole fucking thing will fall. But definitely worth a watch. If you like action, if you like buddy movies, and if you like martial arts action, it's absolutely worth a watch. One of the more underrated of its kind, especially in that late 90s era. Absolutely. Number two, I put The Fifth Element. It was a great experience in the theater. It's not going to win awards for plot. We gotta get the fourth elements and put them together with the fifth element to defeat this thing and save the world. But what it does have is it's got a lot of style. It's got a lot of personality. Bruce Willis did a great job. Yes, he's playing another version of John McClane, but he plays that so damn well. And you have a cast that also includes how do I now remember his name? God. From oh my god, how do I not remember his name? Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman, Ian Holm, even Tiny Lister Jr., Chris Tucker. He wants to say Chris Rock. Chris Tucker. Of course, very early role with Mila Jovovich. And just special effects that hold up pretty well. There's a lot of effects at that time. They seem a bit iffy. But I think the special effects in The Fifth Element actually hold up very well compared to a lot of movies of that day. And that movie cost, what, $90 million? Which is a lot, but there's a lot of movies that cost more. And those effects seem a bit... eh. Fifth Element looks really good. I think because they use a lot of good model work. And just the way the cities looked. The landscapes. I remember seeing that theater. It really did feel like I was taken to just another world. With the costumes. The set design. The weird boat ship spaceship thing that Chris Tucker and his group were on. Paradise. It had a good sense of humor. Wasn't taking itself seriously. Wasn't wall-to-wall action, but the stuff that was there, I liked the car chase. I liked the bit when Bruce Willis has to shoot these fucking alien guys. Shoots the one in the head. Anyone else want to negotiate? And it was cool to see Bruce Willis in that type of big sci-fi epic. Because he had done sci-fi 12 Monkeys, but nothing that scale. It's the closest you would see Bruce Willis in a film like Star Wars. And that was cool to see. Especially being a big Bruce Willis fan at the time. I still like Bruce Willis as an actor. Maybe not as a person, but I like him as an actor. And, being the heyday of, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Die Hard 2, Last Boy Scout, Last Man Standing I enjoyed. I'm like, alright, you just do a big space sci-fi movie? That was cool. I will admit, I also showed how stupid I was back then. Because I wasn't being a smartass when I said this. I remember right after seeing the film, I don't know, a month or so later, I forget when. No, maybe not. I think when school came around again, it was we're going to be taught the periodic table, and the teacher's like, "How many elements are there?" And me thinking, well, there's 5, because of the fifth element. It's like, no, of course, periodic table is a lot more fucking elements than 5, but I don't know, nobody else was guessing, so fuck it. Like, where's your guys' guesses? No one else said shit. I might as well say something, so get a fucking answer. I didn't know what else to think, so okay, fifth element, 5. Fuck it. But anyway, still a lot of fun, the fifth element. And number one, I put Volcano. Because Volcano is kind of what I look for in a popcorn movie, popcorn entertainment movie. Yes, I know it's ridiculous and silly to have a volcano erupt in LA. I know. I'm sure it would drive a scientist fucking insane to look into the logistics of it. I know. I know. It would never happen. I know. But as a piece of entertainment, I really like Tommy Lee Jones. I actually like Anne H. May she rest in peace. Don Cheadle. Was it Gabby Hoffman, the girl that played Tommy Lee Jones' daughter? I think Tommy Lee Jones is having a lot of fun. He's got a good rapport with people. He's got a good sense of humor in that movie. Even more so than like Men in Black. He's supposed to be much more of the straightforward guy. Here, he's a little bit cut more loose with his dialogue. Being a big fan of Tommy Lee Jones, it was nice to see that. It was a nice, refreshing change of pace. The movie went at a good pace. I think the director showcased LA very well. And when the special effects happened, here's the thing with those Sci-Fi Channel movies. Yeah, they're very stupid, and I make fun of them, but also because they're not entertaining, because the cast sucks, the acting's not that good, and the effects are shitty looking. Here, the casts are game, they look like they give a shit. Tommy Lee Jones and Keith David and Don Cheadle, everybody's doing a really solid job, and the effects look really fucking good. They still look good to this day. It really does look like lava is going over LA and going down the streets of LA. It still looks fucking good today. It still makes me go, how the hell did they do that? But since there's never going to be a special edition of the movie because people think it's dog shit and the film flopped, well, well, I'm sure they'll probably on YouTube you find like a making of Back to the Day, to be fair, but nothing too in depth. I still like the fucking film a lot. And I also think the film's underrated. And the movie knows what it is. Like, the fucking movie ends with, I love LA. We love it. As in, we know this is ridiculous, but I hope you enjoyed the ride. And, like, the way the director showcased the special effects sequences and the fire, real stuff being burned down, buildings, the entire buildings and the glass explode. It's still creepy when the guy's saving the other and he's burned to death and just turns to nothing. Still a creepy thing. Creepy scene. And the movie keeps going and never gets boring. And it's what I want in a big popcorn entertainment movie. Likeable cast, likeable lead, good pacing, solid special effects, little twinkle in its eye, but at the same time not making a parody every 5 minutes or 5 seconds like Sharknado. Entertainment. But that's just me. So with that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.